Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I'm continuing my ranking every single Beatles song. I am now doing number 28 through number 25 on my list. So I'm getting to my top 25 here pretty soon of all my Beatles songs. So stay tuned to see what that is here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello, hope everybody's doing well here on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm back doing another ranking the Beatles, my favorite band of all time, and some of the greatest songs ever written. It's such a blast kind of going through these, hearing everybody's comments on them. Really enjoy it. I'm getting down there now. We're getting to almost our top 25. I think what I'm going to do is once I get to my top 10, I think I might just do a live stream and do my top 10 favorite Beatles songs so I can do it all in one deal, and I can get through this list. Though it's fun, I've been doing the list for like 2 years, I think, or at least a year and a half. I've been working on this list. Anyway, so it's been a long thing, but it's such a big passion of mine, doing this, going through all the Beatles songs, something I love to do. So let's go to number 28 now on my list. Number 28 favorite song from the Beatles is I Am the Walrus. And I should note that this is number 28 on my list, and these are great songs. Like every song, is absolutely amazing. A guy that I met on YouTube named Steven Redelsteiner, I want to say his name is, he has a channel as well, and he's from Austria. And when I was preparing to do this list, I was looking up other YouTubers and see if there's other people out there that have ranked every single Beatles songs like what I was wanting to do. And I just came across Steven's channel, and he did that on his channel. He's a big Beatles fan as well, and he did a ranking of all the Beatles songs. He did it much quicker than me. He did them in big lump videos and went through all the songs anyways. And so I really enjoyed getting to go through those, and I was talking to him, replying to or commenting on his videos, and he replied to me, and we've been going back and forth, and I watch his videos and he's been watching my videos, and so it's really cool. It's just talking to Steven from Austria. He's got a lot of great musical taste, and I really enjoy his channel. And I mention him because I Am the Walrus was number one for him. So this is, Steven, if you're watching this, I see this is your number one song. Totally get it. It's a great song. It's not a bad number one. It's number 28 for me, which hopefully you don't think that's too low. I mean, obviously you're probably thinking 28, but 28 still, so many good songs. Still pretty high on my list. I still think this is absolutely amazing song. Very unique song. One of the most unique Beatles songs out there. This came off, of course, the Magical Mystery Tour album. And it's a Lennon McCartney song, though obviously very Lennon-esque type song. And definitely this is one of the biggest psychedelic songs in the Beatles discography, or songs. You put Tomorrow Never Knows, I think Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, I'm the Walrus, probably maybe my top 3 favorite like psychedelic songs in the Beatles era, where they kind of just going on all that crazy. It's kind of a crazy, chaotic song in some ways. This was actually a B-side to the single Hello Goodbye, which Hello Goodbye also was on Magical Mystery Tour. It was added on to the second part of it, even though it's not in the movie or anything. And it became a number one single, so a huge, huge single. This was a B-side, actually. And again, I often like the B-sides better than the A-sides, it seems like, on a lot of these Beatles singles. This is another one where I think this is, Hello Goodbye is a good song. I like it. But I like I'm the Walrus a little bit better than that one. Still, that's a great A-side, B-side. Hello Goodbye, I'm the Walrus. This is such a crazy song. It definitely has the craziest lyrics ever in a Beatles song. It doesn't really make any sense, and I think my dad always said that he likes the song, and he said it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to, basically. And my dad thinks that, not every song has to make sense to be good, and I kind of agree with my dad. It's like, I like when songs make sense and there's lyrics in there. You go, oh, that's a clever lyric. But then you hear something like this and you go, man, I don't get what John's going at with these lyrics, but I love it anyways. Similar to like Come Together or something like that, and Tomorrow Never Knows. They work, stuff like Yellow Mustard Custard, dripping from a dead dog's eye, I believe was one of the lines in the song. I'm like, what's going on? It's a little grotesque type imagery, but Lennon definitely loved to, he was a very imaginative guy, and he definitely loved to write and loved to write stories and likes to bring about different, kind of crazy images like that. From what we know from John Lennon, he was a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland as a kid was like his favorite book, which is a very, kind of psychedelic book in a way. And maybe that's why John liked it so much. And so I think he definitely is, with Lucy Sky and Diamonds as well, in this song, definitely seems to take from maybe his love of that kind of literature. Obviously, you got I'm the Walrus. Walrus was a character from Alice in Wonderland. So we have to wonder if that was a big reason why he has the song called I'm the Walrus. And what exactly, why I'm the Walrus? You're the Eggman. It's so weird. What are Eggman? Why does he call himself the Walrus? And why is he saying goo goo gachoo? What does that have to do with walruses or and all this? And of course, the music video, if you watch the music video, it's absolutely amazing. John dressed in the walrus suit, and then you got people dressed in these Eggman suits, I guess, and the other Beatles dressed in different suits, and they got the psychedelic type of costuming and even instruments, I think. Really great. Probably the highlight of Magical Mystery, which is not a very good movie in total, but that's definitely probably the best part of the movie is I Am the Walrus sequence. This actually was a combination of 3 songs, so it's one of those, which happens every once in a while, where they're working on different songs, but they don't have them complete, and somehow they make them work together. Happiness and the Warm Gun is another example, where they took different song ideas and then somehow mashed them together to make one song. Of course, A Day in the Life took 2 songs and did that. So it happens every once in a while, and this is another time when that happened, where they just took 3 kind of incomplete songs and put them together and somehow came out with this. I think what I love about the song the most is the orchestra music. I love orchestra music, and this, usually you have pretty orchestra music. This isn't pretty orchestra music. It's psychedelic orchestra music, and somehow, but I love how it all works together and just really adds to the song. Like, I've never heard a song like this before. But it really adds to it with, dun, 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 dun. Like, you have a lot of these. It's a little faster pace, a little darker tones to it or something. Absolutely love it. And there's like a great, intermission type place where he's singing and he stops, and then you get this violin, dun, 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 whatever. And then it goes into this, sitting in the English garden, and it kind of slows down the pace just a little bit, getting a tan in the English rain or whatever. And then the dun 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 dun, like the violins and cellos start speeding up, and you go back to I am the Eggman, and I love the woo, you are the Eggman, woo, I'm the Walrus. I mean, I love the whole atmosphere of the song. Yeah, it's a fun song. I'm the Walrus at number 28 on my list. Number 27, a little bit different song, early song actually, written song, that is I'll Follow the Sun at number 27, which comes off of the Beatles For Sale album. In the UK and US, we had it on the Beatles 65 album. This was a song that is a Lennon McCartney song, but Paul McCartney wrote the song back in 1959. So he wrote this back when they were still just, not famous at all, but they were just, playing Hamburg and stuff, and playing at the Casbah and the Cavern Club and all that. And yeah, so he's pretty young here when he wrote the song. And now we got, now we're talking about 1965, the Beatles For Sale, I think, album came out, or 64. I guess it must have been 64. The Beatles For Sale came out. And so it was, 5 years. It didn't come out in any album until then. So it's one that's been cooking in Paul's brain for quite a while. And it may be one of those cases where they were throwing that album quickly together, Beatles For Sale, because they had to meet that deadline at the end of the year. And so they kind of put, of course, it's an album that has, half of it, or almost half of it is cover songs, and the other one's originals. So they probably had come up with whatever originals they were working on at the time, and Paul threw this one in there. But it's absolutely amazing. Here it's at number 27. It's just a beautiful, I mean, Paul's, I always say, I love the rock music, but I have to admit, Paul's ballads are my favorite Beatles songs. Anytime Paul and a guitar or piano, it's absolutely, magical. And yeah, I love this song. It's under 2 minutes long, so it's a really short song, but it's short and sweet, I guess, in a way. But it's kind of almost a melancholic song, talking about, he's going to leave his current probably girlfriend, and he's going to follow his son, and he's going to follow better pastures. I say more greener pastures. Like, it's almost as casual, like, well, relationships aren't going to last forever. I always knew I originally was going to leave you, and I found something better, so I'm leaving you to follow the sun, to go to something better. I guess it's kind of the idea. So I love it. It's a beautiful song, a beautiful acoustic guitar, beautifully sung by Paul, some good harmonies with John as well in there. Yeah, and I love just the tone of the song, the melancholic of it. I think is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, just a really great acoustic guitar song. Number 27, I'll Follow the Sun. And number 26, another absolutely beautiful song, and that is She's Leaving Home, which comes off the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. One of my favorite songs off that album, probably top 3 for sure. Of course, the Lynn McCartney song, mostly Paul kind of, I think, did most of the writing on here, and he's lead singing it. And it's a song based off of a newspaper article that Paul saw. Of course, interesting, on the same album, John Lennon writes A Day in the Life, which is based off of kind of news articles in a sense, but this is based off like a specific article that Paul read about a girl kind of running away from her parents and getting married, and all this, and he turned into this cool song. It's a really interesting, I love the storytelling of it, and obviously it's another one where this time you have a harp, like a harp in there. It's a beautiful harp playing, and some orchestra music. Again, I love the orchestra music. I love the addition of the harp in this one. Absolutely beautiful. And just love Paul's voice. It's so good here. And I love how he starts each, kind of verse with, Friday or Monday morning at whatever day it is. I can't remember the lyrics, but he always starts with what day it is and what time. At 5 o'clock the day begin, or, something like that. And so you kind of get like what time period, you kind of get the story of like what's going on. Okay, now we're on Monday or something, now we're on this day, and what time we are. And it kind of tells the story of the parents waking up and discovering their daughter is gone, and then trying to trying to figure out why did their daughter leave, because they're wealthy, because they there's a sense of like they're wealthy, they've given her everything she needed in life, why would she leave? And the whole idea is like, and then you get in the chorus, which is beautiful with the background with Paul's hitting these really incredible high notes, she's leaving home because there's something inside that they couldn't give, or something like that. Fun, I think they say, or something like that. And so it's like her life, maybe she had money, but she wasn't having a fun life. She wasn't enjoying her life with her parents, I guess, and her upbringing maybe was very strict, and all that we can contemplate on, kind of that thing. Like there's more to life than just, wealth and all that. And of course love and all that she wasn't getting. And so she left, of course, and it talks about her getting married or meeting a man at the motorcade or whatever. And so she's meeting a guy, she's running away like in the middle of the night or when her parents are sleeping. And anyway, so I do love the whole storytelling of the song. And then, like I said, some of the best vocal work for Paul, and then John and George in the background with she's leaving home. We gave her most of our lives. Like I love the back and forth there between Paul and John and George there. But yeah, just absolutely beautiful song. She's Leaving Home at number 26. And then end it at number 25. And this is Nowhere Man. Nowhere Man, which comes off of the Rubber Soul album. Yeah, this is, of course, one of their big hits off that album, I would say. It charted number 3 in the U.S., so it came out as a single in the U.S., not in the U.K. Of course, they usually didn't put their songs on the albums that were singles, so this is one that came out in the U.S. It didn't get number 1, which is unfortunate because it's an absolutely amazing song, but went number 3 anyways. Of course, Lynn McCartney song. Definitely one where it seems like they both collaborated pretty well in this. I don't know if there's one that, put more into it than the other. This is considered the first Beatles song that wasn't about love, which I thought was interesting. And you have to think back in your head of like, really? They haven't done it, huh? Every song has to do with maybe falling in love or being in love or going through a breakup, I think. And so I guess in other words, all their songs have something to do with relationships in some sense. Until we get to, of course, now we're getting Rubber Soul. So their style is definitely changing a little bit. Like I said, I've said before in other videos, like I feel like there's a big transition from Help to Rubber Soul, where they definitely are taking on, I think, even Help, they're taking on a little bit of a Bob Dylan influence, but definitely Rubber Soul. And there's definitely like I think you can say like a folk rock type influence that they're having on that album. And their songwriting is definitely, I think, a lot better. I mean, their songwriting was always good, but they're getting a little more introspective in their songwriting, a little mature, like I said, talking about stuff besides, being in love, which is what was very popular at the time. Of course, you write a catchy love song and it's going to hit pretty good on the radio. So yeah, it's interesting that now this is kind of a song that's, they're really kind of branching out as a band and as songwriters. Lynn McCartney are, of course, the greatest songwriters of all time. But yeah, it's just a song about a guy who's called the Nowhere Man, and maybe he's a guy that's, a lazy guy that lives in his parents' basement. I don't know. I picture, who the Nowhere Man is. But what makes the song is just it's one of the best harmony songs I think the Beatles had. Like I mentioned, This Boy is one of my favorite in the last video because I love the harmonies there. This is another one where they harmonize pretty much the whole song. And I said John takes most of the lead, with the Nowhere Man, bum, bum, bum. The world is at your hand, all that. Mostly John, but everybody's kind of contributing here vocally. And it's absolutely beautiful, the harmonies. And I love the guitar work. There's a little bit of kind of a guitar interludes and solos in there that are absolutely beautiful as well. It's kind of a slower song, but yeah, it uses the electric guitar very well in it. But yeah, I don't know what to say except I just love the harmonies of the Beatles. Anytime they get together and harmonize, it's going to be one of my favorite songs. And I think this is one of their best at that. Nowhere Man at number 25 on my list. So yeah, so now we're going to be into my top 25, and before too long, we'll get to my number 1. I've been working on it for a long time, but I've been happy getting through this with everybody. And I really thank everybody for watching these videos and commenting on them. I appreciate it. Thank you for liking the videos. Really like that. And just thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you guys and girls, and I hope you have a good day.